All right, hopefully that's working and it's on. It would suck to have a whole conversation with you and no audio. It's recording, so. All right, so I just dropped off my son at his baseball camp thing that they got going today. It is Saturday. I'm late on these videos, yes, I know. And I'm gonna do it today because that's what discipline is. You know, forcing yourself to do the thing that you have to do. We talked about that in the last one, right? I think it was the last one. But these stop signs here in a major traffic lane is dangerous. But anyways, yeah, I've been super busy, as for those that are on the Discord, y'all see how crazy things has gotten, or not crazy, but the difference and the changes. We've been doing a lot of stuff on the Discord, updates, new videos, new courses, new guides. Very excited, just working really hard on it, and sort of gone monk mode, if you will. Not full-on monk mode, but monk mode, to say the least. I know I've been focused on it and zoning out, turning off socials and the phones when I have to work. And you know, my brother the other day, 2 nights ago actually, he's like, "Man, you don't get out of the room. what are you're like a little like a caveman or something like that." I was like, "Nah, man, I'm just, you know, in monk mode." And he's like, "What? Monk mode? What the hell is a monk mode?" He's never heard of it. He knows what a monk is, but he's never heard of the term monk mode. So I was explaining to him, you know, and I guess that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about getting into monk mode, the importance of it, and how it can benefit you. And really the different types of monk mode that you could get on, and the ones I personally use, the method, if you will, the mode to get stuff done, right? Because the whole point of going monk mode is to get things done. And typically when I first learned about it, it was you lock yourself in for months on end, don't talk to anybody, nothing. You just work. I mean, I've done it. It's hard to do, right? Because you know, I was married for 25 years. I raised my kids and all that stuff, so it's hard to do that. But I have done it, you know, after, you know, the divorce and stuff, where I was on my own. I've gone in 1,000% monk mode for like a month, not months. That's just ridiculous, but for like a month. That's it, about 3 weeks at most, all right? And I don't like it at all, right? It's very lonely, to say the least. But you know, I've tried different modes throughout the years. What worked for me, and the one that works best for me, that's the one I want to share with you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are in the same situation that I was, where I'm a family person, I'm a family man, right? You got kids, you got a spouse, you got a partner, you've got real life situations. You know, some of you guys, I had a job before. I worked at Walmart, right? I couldn't just go in monk mode and all that stuff. I had to go to work. I had a house that I had to take care of, mow the lawn and do all that stuff. My kids, right? Or businesses. Some of you guys got brick and mortar businesses you have to take care of. That's your bread and butter, right? So I'll just give you 2 versions, right? The one that mostly everyone knows, practically everyone, right? And the one that they try and then they're like, this ain't for me, is the one where you just complete isolation, 3, 4, 6 months, and just go ham, right? That, I'll tell you right now, for me, it will not work. It will not ever work. I'm very present in my son's life. He's with me the majority of the time. And even if he wasn't, let's say he grows, I just wouldn't be able to do something like that, right? I tried, it didn't work. And that's where the majority of the people give up on. You could say they failed, but man, really? Gonna go 3, 4, 5 months without, you have to be like just that's it. No communication with the outside world. The other version is the one that I've sort of developed throughout the years, and I think it works best for me and also the people that I've taught this to or shared this to with. It's worked for them, okay? And I know the majority of you guys are the same thing. You got kids, you got families, you got your own thing, right? I think this will try it out, because let me tell you, going monk mode, there's so many benefits to it. It allows you to literally get things done at your busiest moments. This works best for people that have busy lives, busy real lives, right? So there's really 3 steps to it, right? The first one, it's a given, right? It's an obvious, is distraction, right? Why don't we get things done? Because we keep getting distracted, man. Kids are there. Blah, 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 Poppy, mommy, you know? Social media. Man, that's a big one nowadays, right? Or just doing nothing, being lazy, right? Distraction is the big key. So you got to figure out your distraction. And I'm not talking about just any distractions, like unavoidable ones. Like, let's say I have to go pick up my son. Like every day at 1:30 around there p.m., I have to stop whatever I'm doing so I can go take care of my son. I got to go pick him up from school, right? Take him back home, feed him, take him back to practice. They practice 5 days a week in high school, or his high school at least, right? Then take him to practice, then go home. I only got like 2 hours and not enough time for me to get really going, because once I get going on whatever I'm doing, I gotta stop, right? So I take that time to relax and go pick him up, come back home. It's like a cycle, repetition every day. By the time I'm done, I'm like 9, 10 o'clock. It's you know, that's an avoidable distraction. You just can't do nothing about that, right? I tried to work at home when he was in practice, but sometimes they finish early, sometimes they finish late. So I'm in the middle of something good, I get distracted. Papi, you gotta pick me up. Unavoidable distractions, you just can't do nothing about it. I'm talking about ones that you have somewhat control over, okay? An example, your kids, right? If you have a spouse or a partner, and at that time they're able, in my case, if I was still married or whatever, you know, if you have someone that could take that moment from you to allow you to focus on your business or whatever you're doing online, right? That's something you could control, right? Because they could take care of that for you, okay? Social media. I'm gonna raise my hand. I mean, I'm not really big on just, you know, it's more for learning, but I'm still on it. You ever caught yourself there a whole hour? Oh my God, I've been here an hour on this damn TikTok and Pinterest or whatever, right? That's a whole hour you could have gotten stuff done. You know how much you can do in an hour if you're really going in there? Okay? So the first one is really the first step is to figure out what's distracting you. And you're gonna get a whole list, right? But what I would do out of that list is pick one out of those distractions, just one thing that's taking the majority of your time, at least 1 hour, right? At least 1 hour of your time. If that's the distraction, try to eliminate it, okay? Or not try, you're going to eliminate it. Not all for the rest of your life. We'll get to step 2 now. We're in step 3, right? Step 1, figure out the distraction. You're gonna get a list of it, and then that one distraction, only one, choose one, okay? If you have to choose 2 to get you like an hour or a freedom, do it, Okay, but one is typically the thing that I'm telling you, you'll be surprised. That one thing, man, 2 hours right there with this stuff, man. Okay. Step 2. Find yourself a location where you can focus. Doesn't matter on what. Thinking, your car, whatever, right? Working, doing actual work on the computer, on your stuff, creating new designs, launching ads, whatever it is that you're trying to get done and trying to launch and trying to take off, right? Where you can focus on that. Focus on your thoughts. I've talked about that before, where thoughts, man, that's you know, you're working on your business just by thinking. You could do a lot of stuff, put things into perspective, put things into prioritize things. Okay? So how do you pick a spot? I'm not talking about, again, like being in complete solitude, locking yourself in a room, in a dungeon with no windows, no nothing. No. You could do this in your house, right? If you got more than one room or whatever, just go wherever you work at or can work, just where you can close the door and focus on there, right? Just right there for that 1 hour or whatever the case may be, right? Another place that you could do, if you don't got the house available for you, where you can't, that's not a place where you can focus, okay? Go out to a Starbucks. That's what I do, okay? Starbucks, Panera. I love Panera because it's bigger and a lot more space, and usually there's a good spot where you could just go away and far. Now, you may ask, well, there's people there and all that stuff. Well, here's a trick that I do, and then I've done, right? Is find yourself a Panera or a Starbucks that there's no way, no chance in hell that you could run into someone that you know. I'll give you a great example. By where I'm staying at, right, literally walking distance, there's a Starbucks and a Panera. I've been there for 30 years in St. Cloud. I'm bound to I could run into someone that I know there. I don't know anyone that just goes there religiously, but there's a chance, even if it's small. So I purposely go away from it to a location where, I mean, I'm not talking about hours away, but there's one about 40 minutes away that I know there's no chance that I could run into someone there that could distract me. That could be like, hey, what's up, man? Been a while. Okay, no. And a lot of people go there for that. They'll go there to work. So you're not going to get someone that, just going to bug you. That'd be weird. That's a great place to go. Put some headphones on, get yourself at the furthest table, order something. I like to order tea and just zone out. Find yourself a location where you can zone out for a minimum of an hour. There's so much I wouldn't do anything less than that, right? A minimum of an hour, at most 2 to 3. Okay? It really takes that long, because you think about it, if you do less than that, it takes you 10 minutes, for me at least, a good 10 to 15 minutes to open up my thing, get everything sorted, open up Windows, open up the Canva, Photoshop, the Facebook ads, whatever I'm going to work on, right? And I got 10, that leaves me with 40 minutes, okay? So a good hour minimum, but an hour to 2 where you can really focus on that. You are going to be so surprised, like, wow, I've got so much done. It's surprising, I'm telling you, okay? Just that one little hour, okay? The third step, and this one's key. Hold up. These yellow lights, man, they get you right there. And there's cameras all over on the things here in Florida, at least, and they'll get you. You'll get a nice little picture, in the mail, clear right here. Your tags. It's insane. Never had a ticket in my life until that one time a couple years ago, going to Universal Studios with my son. Same thing, yellow light. Anyways, I digress a lot, guys. Sorry. Third step. Third step, right? And this, I think, is the most important one. Hands down, right? It's pick one day. One day out of the week to zone out, to go into monk mode. Okay? One day, that's all it takes. Again, when people go into monk mode and they try to zone out, they try to do it every day. They try to do it for a month straight, 2 months straight. If you've never done this before and you have a busy life, you have family, you have all that, it's not gonna work. And it's not your fault. It's just not designed for a person like us that is busy with family and kids and we got to do all this stuff here, right? It's just not designed for us. One day that you can commit and you can be disciplined with yourself. See, there's a Starbucks that I go to right here, right? It's about 40 minutes from my house. I don't know nobody in this area. One day out of the week that you can say, hey, when it's coming, like on a Thursday, let's say pick Thursday, right? At 1 p.m. at Thursday. Thursday's here. Oh my God. No, you got to be disciplined and force it. You got to do this now. Because then you start pulling it off. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. No. The whole purpose of doing monk mode is so you could focus on that damn thing, right? Every single time you're in that zone. One day out of the week for a minimum of 1 hour. Okay? So we'll go back to like step 1 and step 2, right? Figure out your distraction and then figure out that one place or figure out the distraction, right? See if you got someone that can help you. Hey, can you take care of this here at this hour? All I need is this 1 hour on Thursday. You're free on Thursday, yeah? Okay, every Thursday for at least a month, I need help. I need this, right? Okay? Or if you don't have that moment that you're on a phone, if one of your distractions is that, right? If one of your distractions isn't being on the damn phone, on TikTok or whatever, just, right? And it accumulates up to an hour. You can see it on the phone where the times that you're on the apps. It's more than an hour at a time, right? Then cut that off for that moment, right? And then find a place where you're gonna go to, right there, right? When you get to that spot, that's when the timer starts. That's it. One day out of the week that you can say, this is it, no matter what. I mean, right, there's some drastic things that happen, but no matter what, I'm sorry, I can't. Shut off the phone. That phones have these things now where you can put it in sleep mode, right? I do that when I'm in monk mode or in zoned out. I turn it up, I put it on sleep mode or whatever you call it, and there's only like 4 or 5 people that are, there's the only ones that could go through. That's it, which is my kids. No one else, right? No one else. Okay? One day out of the week for a minimum of 1 hour. If you could do 2 hours, do that. But 1 hour, no less than that. And the time doesn't start when you start driving there. The time starts when you sit. When you sit down and have a list before you get there of to-dos. Okay? Have a list of to-dos. That helps. That helps me at least. Okay? This monk mode or zoning out, however you want to call it, I think it benefits those that are like me, where you have a busy life, where you have family, you have kids or whatever. Even for singles, I'm single now. I'm with my son every day of the week, right? And he's with me all day long. Like, he stays in my house and everything for 70% of the time. Right? Only because he's closer, I'm closer to the school than his mom is. I'm like 2 minutes from the school. Okay? So it works for singles as well. I mean, I can imagine if you're a single mom. I can't imagine actually if you're a single mom and got 4 kids, but you know, there has to be a time. You just got to figure that out. Use those 3 steps. I'm pretty sure you can find 1 hour. 1 hour, even if it's in your house when they're sleeping or whatever, taking naps. That 1 hour that you could do. You could do so much in 1 hour. Right? Once you got that down pack where it goes from and it's going to be a lot of discipline work. You discipline yourself a lot. Once it becomes more of a routine and almost a habit, right? It's going to be more on the routine level. Remember, it goes from discipline to routine to a habit where it's a necessity. This is more of a routine where you know that's you're doing it at that time and that day. Then you could expand to maybe 2 hours at a time. If possible, 5 hours at a time, but that's you're pushing it right there. But what I would do is if I could push it to maybe 2 hours in that one day and I need more time, then I'll try to add on a second day. Actually, that's exactly how I do it. And then on that one day where I already know that day's locked in, the original day, the initial day where I got 2 hours, on that second day, I'll actually just start with 1 hour. Because you just never know if it's not going to work out. Maybe you have to move times or whatever. And then again, you move it up. Then you got 2 hours on a Thursday, 2 hours on a Monday. That's 4 hours of work you're doing a week. If you, what's his name? Tim Harris. He wrote a book long years ago called the 1 hour or the 4 hour work week. Man, oh no, I think that, I mean, if you read that book now, it'll have things from back then, right? But the concept of the book, the idea still works for today's times, the 4 hour work week. So if you haven't read that or ever heard, get it on audio. It's a big book. Getting on audio, if you like, or actually buy the book. But that one right there, woof. 4 hours in a week, the amount of work that you can do. Okay? And then little by little, you'll start to see results. Actually, it'll seem like it's a faster rate because you're focusing on it and things starts to happen. Results starts to come in, whether good or bad, but results starts to come in. Something that you could analyze. Remember, I talk about that all the time, right? You have to do something. You have to put in the work to see some kind of results. It's the only way to make an educated decision on whether to move on or cut that, whatever it is that you're doing. If you don't do nothing, there's only one guaranteed results, right? Zero if you don't do absolutely nothing. But I promise you, man, you start doing just that 1 hour a week, you will start seeing results and like, man, wow, look at this. Okay? So 3 steps, man. The first step, figure out what this distraction is and handle it. Figure out how to take care of it for just the 1 hour. That's all you need, right? 2, figure out a location. It could be in your house. It could be in your many times I've worked in the car, right? Last year, as a matter of fact, when we were going to not only high school practice, but his team's practice, I would work right from the car because the team practice was an hour away, so it made no sense for me to go home. I would stay there for 2.5 hours. I would work in the car. That was my zone out location. Okay, your car, or if you do a Starbucks or Panera, those are the ones I would suggest. Only because I've tried. A Dunkin' Donuts is good, but it's small, it's easy to get crowded. But you try to go anywhere else where to me, Starbucks and especially Panera has worked best for me. Panera's just bigger. There's, you could really, and it's people that are there, even if there's a few people there, typically they're doing the same thing. They're zoning out, they're working, they're there for that, right? Versus like you go to a restaurant and everybody's it's just distracting. Okay, so find a location, step 2, and then step 3, get that one day for 1 hour a week on the same exact day. Now, you don't have to, I forgot to mention this, you don't have to stick with that one day. Like, let's say, all right, I'm going to do Wednesdays at noon. If that day is too hard for you to keep up with, then move it to another day. It's totally fine with that. Just don't do it every week. Oh, I'm going to do it next week. All right? If Wednesday is just difficult for you, for whatever reason, it's just not worth panning out, with the Thursday. But a day in a week where you could, at least for 1 month, don't, 1 month, just so you can see the results. Be disciplined with yourself. Discipline yourself. Right? I could have easily waited till Monday to do this video because I didn't do it last week. So no, I'm doing it today. Because this has been on my mind. Ever since my brother told me about that, I'm like, and I'm explaining to him. And, he's new to business and he doesn't do what we do. I helped him start his own AC business. He's an AC technician, showing him how to run ads, all that, So I am teaching him somewhat of what I do, but it's more for like what we call brick and mortar business, right? That stuff. But he's just like, oh, I can't do that. So, teach his own, right? What can you do? What can you do? It's perfectly okay. I'm okay with that. Go this way. I'm going to the mall right now, by the way. And then my son's gonna be there for like, I don't know, 3 hours or something. They've got some camp going where, the younger kid, he's 14. He'll be 15 in a couple of weeks. Wow, 3 weeks. But all the bigger kids, and I guess the kids with experience, they're there to help the coaches for the younger kids that are like, 8, 9, 10. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Just have that. That's what this whole thing is about, me dumping my thoughts, right? Mind dump, I think is how you call it. But yeah, because I have no one here to talk about this stuff. Like I tried with my brother, and he's like, "I'm not a monk." The hell is a monk? Don't you gotta go to the forest to be a monk? Like I can't make this stuff up. This his words, not mine. Oh my God, I was just like, unbelievable. I just wish I had someone here that I could talk to about this kind of stuff that will understand instead of. I'm pretty sure you guys have tried to conversate, and what ends up happening is you end up explaining more than conversating. You end up teaching more than conversating, right? And you never get to the point at hand because you're still trying to explain the first thing that they got lost on. Right? This is funny. I don't know. It's a lonely world, this game of art. This is the internet marketing thing. But anyways, guys, I need to stop here somewhere, or let's see. Hopefully, this red light doesn't turn green, so I can turn off this thing. And I can stop rambling. Right? But anyways, let me know your thoughts. Right? That's a good way to end it when I get there. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've tried to go in monk mode and which version. If you tried to make your own, or if you tried to go full on, right? And how it worked out for you. Okay? And if you haven't, if you're, that'll be a good thing to do, a good practice. Just start with step 1, right? Type it down here in the comments. What's one of your distractions? Just 1, 2, or 3, whatever. Use it as a list. I don't mind. Here's a red light. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Mwah. I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for listening to my rambles of the day. And I will see you on the next.